Hey everybody, David here. I want to show you guys a quick edit, and I'm looking. This is a pier in San Clemente. I'm just looking at some of the different images. You can see this image here. It's completely blown out, and so it's not something that I can use. You can look at the histogram here, and you can see that I've blown out a lot of the sky where the sun is. So I don't want to use that because it's too blown. So I'm actually looking for an image that's a little underexposed. That way I can save some of that sky. So the first image that I took is underexposed, and it's not bad because I can save a lot of that sky. This is the only part that will be blown out, and so I can just start with this one. The first thing I want to do right off the bat is the horizon line is off, so we want to make sure we get that horizon line as straight as possible, and I think that's about good. So all I'm using is this little tab here, the crop, and then I just click on it once I've got it to the place where I want it. Now there are a couple of surfaces out here that I want to get rid of them. I don't. Just a little distracting, so I want to get rid of these guys here. So we have a guy right here, and I'm just using the spot removal tool to get rid of that. And you see it put me down there. I don't like that, so I'm going to move that up just a little bit and kind of match it as good as possible. And sometimes it gets a little tricky just because it's not going to be perfect. So I like that for now, and I can always fix it later. So this surfboard that's in front, I want to get rid of that one as well. And so we'll click on that, and it put me down a little bit, but I want to move that up just a little. Okay, so that looks good. And then when you're using the spot removal tool, you can't grab and move across the screen. So the only way that you can do is if you go up to the left here, you have another little window, and you can click on that and move around. So we have another surfer in the water out here, so click on that. That might be pretty good. Yeah, that looks fine. So we've taken them out of the picture. The only other thing, or the other stuff that I want to work on, I generally like to have the sand down here, but we don't have it, so that's fine. We'll just go with this. The sky, I want to bring a lot of the sky back, and then I want to bring this out here. All this, I want this, the shadows in this, on the pier, I want to bring those all out. So that's what I'm going to work on. So how I do that. Down here we have the highlights. If I bring my highlights down a little bit, you'll see that the sky will pop a little more, be a little more colorful. Bring out some of the saturation. That'll bring the sky out even more, so you can see there. Also like to bring out a little bit of the vibrance, and then a little bit of the clarity, just to give it a nice little pop. And now, as far as bringing out the shadows, this is something I'm going to work on here, and it'll probably be more than just one step, but if I bring it out here, I can bring out some of the shadows, so you can at least see the pier. It really brightens up the image a lot more. And then I'm also going to take this into my Nik Software, and I'll bring out even more of that area there. So right now this is what we have, and so in order to bring out Nik Software, which Nik Software it's an attachment add-on that you'd have to purchase, and I believe Google makes it, or they own it now. So what I do to pull up Nik Software, and you'll have to look into Nik Software. I'll put a link below, but just go to edit, and I want to first look at editing it in the Vivesa, that add-on. So we're going to work on all this down here, and bring out some more of that. We'll see. It just takes a minute to load it up, but so far it looks pretty good. I want to bring out the sky a little bit more, those blues, and I like the orange and the red and the yellow, all that. That looks good, but we just need to bring out some more of the blues. So how this works is it's just these little uh, action points here. So if I click on one of these, I can bring out the area that that I'm focused on, and it's a circle. It's a circular area, so you can see all that is going to be the focus. So if I brighten it just a little, and actually what I like to do is I like to add some structure to it, and then we don't need any warmth. Add a little bit of the brightness, just a little bit. So what I usually do is Control D, and that will duplicate the image. You see it's duplicated the image. So then all I need to do, it's duplicated the settings. So all I need to do is click on it and then just move it along, and it will go through. It will give me the same effect on the whole pier. So that's what I'm doing there. The sky, like I said, I want to do a little bit with that, and I always add a little bit of structure and some saturation. We'll add some saturation to this, but just a little bit of that structure, and the structure really brings out, you can see it brings out that sky, really sharpens it. I don't want to add too much because I'm going to duplicate this and have more of it out there, so I don't want to add too much. See, we're just duplicating them over each other. So there you go there, and then I just move these control points all around, and then we'll go back to Lightroom, and once we get back to Lightroom, then we can do some finishing touches on it, and then we'll be done with the image. So that's what I have so far, and I like this water. What I'll probably end up doing, I don't like it looking blue like this, so we'll have to, you know, work with the white balance, get that back to the white color that it should be. But when there's a lot of shadow and stuff like that, it does turn it a little blue. So I like the reflections off the water, and I mean that all looks really nice there. So it's just coming together really nicely. So I've got that, and then we just hit save, and it'll take it back to Lightroom, and then I can finish my edit in Lightroom. So that's generally my setup. I'll start with the image. First thing, I want to make sure everything is straight, so the crop is my major concern. Then I want to bring down the highlights, add some shadow, and open up the shadows, and then I can work on some of the other stuff just as they come. So this is what we have. This is the pier, and it's still a little dark, but that's probably as good as I can get it. Now the white balance, I can work on it a little bit, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll just hit the auto just to see what happens. You can see it really made it blue. So I'm really probably pretty close to where I need to be. I can add just a little bit more yellow, and that looks good. One thing I can do too is right all in here. If I open up the exposure just a little bit, it might make it pop out just a little bit more. So we can just do that. Open up that exposure right there and bring it out just a little bit. Now it's great now because once you click on this brush, I can work on it with some other stuff as well. So I can bring down that contrast just a little bit more. I can open up the shadows a little bit more, and I can do a little bit more clarity in there just to sharpen that bridge up, or sharpen the pier up. So I like that. Let's do a little sharpening here, and then bring down the dark blacks just a little bit, and that looks pretty good. The only other thing that I will do with this is, because I've brighten it up and everything, I have brought some, added some noise to the image. So we're going to work on that noise. And I use color effects to do the noise. Basically, just go up to color effects, or I'm sorry, go up to photo, edit, and then it's define. Define will actually, and this does all the work. All I need to do is just click it. It will read the image, find out where the noise is, and then it will bring out it will correct that noise. And if I don't like the way it looks, I can always change it. So I'll show you that right now. But image is coming together quite nicely. I like it. So brought it up. Now it's working. So it's reading the areas that it thinks needs some noise reduction. And so these are the areas right here, the little boxes. And I can move around. If you see down here in this little box here, when I move around the image, it will show me the before, which this is the before on the left, and then the after on the right. So some of this, like under the pier, didn't really, and you see there are no points on the pier, but I want something on the pier. I think the pier needs it. So rather than have this in the sky here, I would rather have it down there. So I'll open it up just a little bit, grab this, drag it down here, move this, and make it a little bit smaller, and then I can always measure the noise again. So once I measure it again, then it'll pull it up. Now if I don't like it, like, see, this basically what it did is it measured this twice, so it actually really distorted the image, and I don't like that. So I am going to reset it. So now it's back, and now all I need to do is just pull up one here. That's the only real area that's bothering me when it comes to noise. So I do it again, and it's showing me, okay, this is what it's going to look like. I don't like it, so I will reset again. So you just have to play around with it until you get it to the way you want it. I like the sky, and if I can't get anything down here, let's just make a small little thing there. If I can't get it to just focus on that, which that looks better, that looks much better. Still down in the water, it looks okay. It's a little muddy. So I mean, at some point, sometimes you just have to think, okay, is this acceptable? The noise in here, is that acceptable? Because I don't want my water to be muddy at all. So at this point, after looking at all the different areas, it doesn't look that bad, and it's something that I can let me click cancel. In Lightroom, I can drop that down just a little bit in that area, so I don't have to worry about it. So what I did was, instead of saving it, because I didn't make any changes, I just canceled it out. So you see there's a little bit of noise there. Lightroom has noise reduction as well, so we can go down to that, and we can work on just reducing a little bit of the noise, just a little bit. That's all you need to do. And there you go. So we have the water, still looks pretty, yeah, the water looks good. And up here we have the pier. So that's really nice. I think that's a keeper. So we'll go with that. And that's all I have for you guys today. Just wanted to show you a quick edit, kind of the workflow that I use to edit my images. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.